All right. Well, hey everyone, thanks for watching the first Circuit of Time review Star Wars podcast, where we're going to be talking about anything and everything Star Wars. Also having our own speculations and predictions about the Force Awakens that comes out in just 5 weeks. Oops. So
Never heard of
for
it.
Yeah, who knows with this movie? So for those of you actually watching live and doing the live chat, thanks. We'll be taking some topics and questions probably toward the end. If the live chat and the topics don't work, just live tweet me or tweet me at Circus of Time, and we'll take those at the end. But let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do is introduce the two guests that I have on the first show today, Star Wars podcast. First guy is on his own Jedi Council, and you might hear his awesome drum beats in your dreams, or just could be his awesome horror movie reviews. We have Lee from Drumdums. Lee, welcome, and thank you, sir.
Thank you. What's up? How you guys doing? Happy to be here. Star Wars, love it.
We got our Star Wars shirts on. We're we all emailed each other right before. And then next guy has been thrashing out our favorite theme songs on the guitar and rocking out his own reviews. You can also hear a couple of those on the Schmoes Knows shows. So we have Tim from TheLateReviews. Tim, welcome.
Thank you, Carlos. It's awesome to be here to talk Star Wars. It's literally a piece of history. I'm excited to talk about it.
Me too. I'm excited to have everybody on. Like I was telling Lee that I've had a few podcasts where I've been talking to myself, so I'm very excited to actually talk to two other people about things and hear people on the live chat as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and just jump right into it. Star Wars, like you said, Tim, it's a treasure. We've loved it. Unless you've been living under a digitally enhanced rock for the last 30 years, you've come across it. So what I want to do is just do a quick intro. What got you into Star Wars? Was it the movies, the toys, the games, books, any friends or family? We'll start off with Lee. What got you in?
Return of the Jedi. I saw Return of the Jedi back in the theater, not to date myself or anything, but I was 10 years old. I saw it opening weekend, I think, and oh my God, I was already a Star Wars fan, but I hadn't seen any of them in the theater. And seeing a Star Wars movie in the theater will change your life forever. And that's pretty much what it did. And after that, I was buying all the figures, and I became obsessed with Star Wars. I love it.
Unless you saw the prequels in the theaters, and it's a different life-changing situation. But yeah, I definitely jealous. I wish I could have seen Return of Jedi in theaters.
Well, just to share a little bit about my experience with the prequels. My son was around 6, 7 years old, and we saw Episode 1. And you know what was cool about Episode 1 was it was 16 years since Return of the Jedi. So it wasn't the movie, it was that hype. I mean, that hype was just so big. I remember the trailer.
Oh, I was going to say, that trailer was amazing.
Yeah, the trailer was amazing. And I can't remember the movie that it was before, but people were actually buying tickets to go see whatever movie it was that the trailer was
Meet
showing.
Joe Black, I think, was what the
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black. I don't know why.
But yeah, that was just such a crazy phenomenon, And then Episode 1 came out, and of course it was Episode 1. But yeah, and like I was saying, just to backtrack, my son, he really got into Star Wars after Episode 2. I remember we went and saw that, and when Yoda walks out and he does this thing. I remember in the theater, man, that was no joke. Everybody was freaking out. I mean, to see little Yoda with his lightsaber flipping, it was insane, man. Everybody was freaking going crazy. So I got to give the prequels some credit, but yeah, I mean, the original trilogy, there's nothing like it.
Oh yeah, well, cool. Well, I'm glad. I'm jealous you guys see Return of the Jedi in theaters, because I would definitely love to see the original trilogy in theaters before they had all the enhancements and things. But Tim,
yeah.
What was it?
No Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, exactly. So Tim, what got you into Star Wars?
The first time I heard George Lucas's voice, his sweet, tender, raspy voice. I don't hear a lot of people talk. Yeah. The first time I saw his action figure, his beautifully plastic rendered head.
So beautiful. I love it.
I don't hear a lot of people.
Beard.
Yeah, next to my beard.
I don't hear a lot of people talk about this that often, and I'm surprised because a while ago, I think around maybe it was before 2000, I think. We all have probably in our houses that gold VHS box set of the
Oh yes.
So, before that came out, that was the like announcement of all those digitally remastered movies, and they all played in theaters. So the first introduction, like obviously my parents were just like, "You guys have to see this movie," and we saw. I think we actually rented them before that, but seeing episode 4, 5, and 6 in theaters and seeing hyper speed and literally just like experiencing the minute the crawl comes up, people were losing their shit, clapping. My dad was clapping. That was the minute I was like, this is a big thing to me. My brother and I collected the Star Wars toys that had green backings and red backings, and now it's been a while since I've seen them actually, but it's forever ingrained in me, and just talking about it gets me kind of choked up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Tim, kind of like yours, it was the gold releases. I had just, my cousin and I were messing around, cleaning his room one time, and he had the VHSs before they did the enhancements. It was the all-black ones. And so I was like, oh, yeah, and I'd heard of Star Wars. I was a kid. I was like, 8, 9 years old. So I've known of it, but I hadn't really watched the full movies. I've seen parts of them on USA and all those growing up. I was like, let's watch it. So we watched it, and I was just like, give me these movies. I gotta have them. And then like a year or two later, that's when the gold editions came out. And I was like, Mom, let's do this. And ever since then, it's been on. Like I probably have 10 different Millennium Falcons in different sizes, Legos. I mean, it's something that I didn't think would grow as a passion. As I got older, I thought it was something that would, you think you like as a kid, it might fade out or something. But I was like, man, I will live and die Star Wars. I didn't think I would love it as much as I did today, and I'm glad I do.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So we'll just kind of intro on our backgrounds with Star Wars, just kind of move forward into some Star Wars theories that have been brought up as time has gone on. Like the original Star Wars trilogy, they had the who shot first, Han or Greedo. They also had were the stormtroopers missing on purpose? Is that why they're such bad shots? But one that actually has been, I've heard that one. I was like, hey, yeah, I think it's right. I think it goes with the plot, maybe. But one that came up recently online that I saw that I hadn't heard before, but I guess once I saw it explained in more detail, I think it makes a little sense, but it's not true at all. But it's the Jar Jar Binks theory, and I'm not sure. I've talked to Lee about it. Tim, I'm not sure if you've heard about that.
I haven't. I'm all ears.
All right. Well.
Favorite character, by the way.
Yeah, everyone's favorite character.
I got a big back tattoo of him.
Oh, nice. All the way through with the American flag. This is basically, I'm just going to go off the gist because it's not probably 100% correct, but basically what it is that Jar Jar Binks was the Phantom Menace in the original trilogy. That he was behind everything going on, that he was drunk, like he was playing the fool for everybody, but really he was, doing everything precisely, planning and being behind the scenes, and they had clips from the movies where they showed where, he was jumping into the pool, he's doing like a Jedi jump, and then he's like the only character who can really do like special actions like the Jedi, and then, I don't know, it's a crazy theory, and I know it's super far-fetched, but I want to see what you guys thought about it.
Oh wow, where do I start?
The last thing is too is that people were trying to speculate that they're gonna put Jar Jar as Snoke in the new one. I'm like, that's nuts, that's crazy, but that's where it goes. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll start off by saying better dead here than dead in the core.
Yes.
I love quoting Jar Jar. You know what? Everybody hates Jar Jar, but he has given everybody something to talk about. You know what I mean? That's what I love about Jar Jar. And because he's like the worst character ever in cinema history. But, it's like that opposite end of the spectrum. You got to have the good with the bad. And I don't know, Jar Jar's interesting. And there's no way these theories are correct. I mean, there's no way they're right?
I don't think so, but there's good speculation, have good points. But, yeah, like, I think Jar Jar just kind of suffers from being a not so great character in a Star Wars movie. If he was like in a regular kids movie or something, then he probably would have been received decently or better. But since he was in Star Wars,
Minions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they
Oh my God.
they
Don't get
floated
started
pretty
on-
heavy in so,
Yeah, so I feel like he got that treatment. If he would have been not in Star Wars, he probably would have been suited elsewhere, but not in Star Wars.
Standalone
Have you
movie.
guys ever
That's
seen
where
that
he should
documentary?
get.
Have you guys seen that documentary on Episode 1? And what George Lucas was thinking that Jar Jar was going to be like the
Yeah.
savior of the franchise, that he was going to be massive,
Yeah,
which
that
makes it even cooler.
well, I think it was that kid appeal. He thought that Jar Jar was going to bring in a new generation of kids. The kids were going to love it. They're going to embrace him, and that was going to make the movie successful. When really, it was nothing but adults going to see this movie who had seen him like 15, 20 years earlier, and they're like, who the hell is this, and why are they in my Star Wars movie?
He had hate from the way beginning too. Like
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think I've ever heard anyone that was like, he's so cool, and then someone brings up something. Like people hated him like from the get-go.
It was immediate.
Although I will say, a while ago I was like, you know what? I'm gonna introduce myself to the Star Wars like book universe, and I was like, okay. So I was gonna listen to audiobooks. I wanted to hear like all the English guys talking like the Imperial and all that stuff. I got the wrong audiobook. So I just got the digital book. So I read Phantom Menace in just a book form. And geez, trying to read Jar Jar Binks is the most horrible thing. And then I was like, maybe I should listen to audiobooks. So I found it on YouTube. The author had to talk like Jar Jar Binks. It was so, and I'm sitting there at work, and I'm just like, I'm listening to it, and I'm like minimizing the window, hoping like no one sees that I'm listening to an audiobook of the Phantom Menace.
That's dedication. You kept it going, so that is dedication. I remember seeing that book, and I was like, man, that's a lot. That's a big read. That wasn't a thin book.
It's fun.
Do you guys know the actor's name that played Jar Jar Binks? I can't remember his name.
It was a black actor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who did the motion capture? I couldn't
That
remember
poor
his
guy.
name. Yeah, I know. I'm glad
guy.
that he's only in the documentary, so people who own him, who actually like Star Wars, will hate him, but not like the general public will.
Yeah.
So
His
like,
IMDb account is just Jar Jar Binks, and then like nothing.
it's like, oh yeah, that's a tough role to follow. I don't know if
Because he
he's
makes
had-
a cameo in that Attack of the Clones.
Really?
Oh, the actor
Yeah.
does?
Yeah, if you look at the bar scene when we don't need any death sticks,
Yeah.
he was standing in that scene.
Well, he
What
got
a
a little
lucky
bit of
guy.
glory. Yeah, I'm sure he's like, please
Yeah.
get me out of this suit for just a minute.
Yeah, can I just be this character?
Yeah, the guy
For the rest
standing
of the
next to the guy. That's all I want to be. Yeah.
Now, Jar Jar, just addressing the whole theory, like, I'm slightly rough on, what Jar Jar did in the later movies, because it's been literally those prequels I've seen maybe twice each. The third one I only saw once. But I remember Jar Jar did put on a cloak, and he was fighting with a lightsaber, right? Or
Was
it
it
wasn't a
the Clone
lightsaber,
Wars?
but he did wear a cloak. I know that. He
He wore a cloak in
Phantom
episode
Menace.
2, I think, and then episode 3 he only had like a 2-second scene.
Yeah, and then at that
even
point,
in
he's
episode 2
smart
he's
to
only
camera.
in it for like the beginning of when Anakin and Obi-Wan show up.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. The theory is pretty far fetched, but it has some points that can make you think at least. Like maybe that could possibly be. But of course,
I live by it.
you'd also have to go back and think: did George Lucas really think it through that much to really connect things like that? I mean, the way that those were written, you would think maybe not. But like I said, there are good things about the prequels. So I don't want to shit on them completely, but they're good. But we're gonna move on to the next thing we're talking about. We're talking about the original trilogy, the enhancements that they had in them. You talked about the gold editions. We got some enhancements, but then we kept getting more and more and more enhancements as we go, and we still haven't gotten the original release of nothing with no enhancements. So that's BS on itself. But what did you guys think when you're like, what did they take away? Did it enhance it for you?
I think some of the enhancements are okay. Very few of them though. But I do like in Empire when they changed Sidious to kind of match with the prequel. I just thought Sidious looked really cool. So I think that change was justified. But I don't like the Hayden Christensen one. I know he's trying to do the continuity thing. I don't like that, and of course everybody hates the that is the worst.
It's like the first take. It was like, got it, first take, we're using it.
What the hell was he thinking?
Yeah, when I heard that, I cringed so bad.
It did give birth to a pretty decent meme, though. Like, I don't like memes, but that's a really good one.
Oh, it's a great meme, yeah. But I mean, he did it on the Blu-ray release too, not just I mean, the first
taking it out.
Blu-ray edition we got, he couldn't stop it. He had to still fuck it up.
It's funny.
Oh my God, it's like a bubble. It's a no.
Wait, is that added in just the Blu-rays? Because I've only seen the VHSs. I don't actually own them on Blu-ray.
Yeah, the Blu-ray is when he adds the Darth Vader no at the end of Return of the Jedi, and everybody went nuts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's best being silent.
What about the Jabba the Hutt? Totally.
That one's been there since the beginning. He did in the 97 editions. There was the scene was added, but then he just kept adding CGI to it. So if you watch the 97 edition and then the 2004 DVD edition, and I think maybe even the Blu-ray edition, Jabba looks a little different every time.
Looks slick. He's like slimy.
They had the guy stand in the originally, and then every time they overlaid with CGI, it just looked a little worse at some points until like at the use of the 2004 edition. I think was probably where they finally figured it out, where they got that little step that Han Solo does.
Han Solo goes like this.
Yeah.
It's like his whole body just goes straight up and then straight back
act like
down.
He doesn't have a tail for that one scene.
The most uncomfortable step over I've ever seen in cinematic history.
Well, Lee, you saw the original cuts, right?
Yeah, I own the original cuts on DVD. Back in 2006, he released the limited edition DVDs. But he didn't do them in anamorphic, which still people were pissed off because he did them in letterbox because they were from the Laserdisc. Mm-hmm. So if you watch that on an HD TV, it's gonna look like shit.
Sucks. Yeah, so I heard that it was only like a Laserdisc release. It was never like an actual. It was like a features on the Laserdisc or something like that.
Yeah, he wouldn't even call it a theatrical version. He called it a special feature. Pretty much.
Wow. It's like what does George Lucas hate more? His original trilogy or that fucking Star Wars Christmas special? He's trying to bury both of them. Oh man, I've watched a few reviews on it where you had to watch most of it, and I was like, this is complete shit, even for the 70s.
Yeah, I still have not seen the Christmas special.
You guys, it's getting that time of year, so you should add it to your repertoire for some Christmas.
I will.
It's about 45 minutes of complete nonsense, so either have a drink or alter your mind a little bit before you watch it. That's all I can say.
I hear it's like the Room of sci-fi movies.
It's intense. It's weird. So yeah, I can see why he wanted to bury that, but why he is so ashamed of the original trilogy.
Do they celebrate Christmas in space in Star Wars land?
It's about Chewbacca's life, his family's life day, and so it's based in Chewbacca's world, and they're visiting his family, and it's all in Wookiee talk. The first half hour of it, or almost all of it, is all Wookiee talk. You basically have to guess what they're talking about in regards to the action that they're doing, which still isn't clear. So
it's awesome.
A few like hardcore Star Wars fans were like, I know exactly what they're saying.
Oh yeah, like no, I got it written in my book. We know it. It's just like the Elvish language. I got it down. Like, whatever. You don't know shit. But yeah, no, you have to check it out. You have to check it out. But all right, so moving on to the next thing, we're going to talk about the prequels, and of course, then we'll talk about all bad things. We'll talk about the good things about the prequels too. So let's just get your guys' take on the good and bad things you thought about with the prequels. We'll go with you, Tim, start now.
I'm one of the few people that liked 1 and 2. Like, I will watch Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones is, I love the war scene with all the little tan droids. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really cool. Granted, it's been a long time since I've seen them. 3 was the one I really just didn't care for. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just who I saw it with. Maybe it was just the amount of CGI, and like it just didn't feel like a Star Wars film. I don't know. I didn't like 3.
Yeah, I know. I feel you on that one because that's kind of how I was. Well, with Attack of the Clones, I actually had maybe even seen it once through all the way once. But the Phantom Menace is just like I think it was the Duel of Fates, the
Yeah.
sabers, the hype leading up to it. I think that's why I kind of like that one the most. Whereas the second one, I was just like, what the hell is going on? But of course, that was just me being like, just me tuning out, being like, I didn't like the first one, so I don't know what's going on in the second one. And the third one was just like they were making up for everything they did wrong in the first two, but it was kind of like overkill. It's like I don't
Yeah.
need a 45-minute lightsaber fight.
Well, for me, I personally like 3 the best, but they all have, major problems. But I think for me, at least 3 had a trajectory that they were trying to get to. I mean, first, the theater experience for 3 was just amazing. I remember waiting in line 3 hours to watch part 3,
Damn.
and yeah, 3 hours. Me and my son, we sat there, and when the opening crawl came up, everybody just cheered and went crazy. But the big thing for me was seeing Darth Vader become Darth Vader. And I thought they did a pretty decent job. I thought they went way too far with the CGI, especially now if you watch it, it's it's dated. That's the problem with too much CGI. It dates itself. But I remember back when I first saw it, I loved Episode 3. I still like it. I mean, if I do my Star Wars marathon, I'm one of those guys. I got to watch 1, 2, and 3 with 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
But to me, nothing compares to 4, 5, and 6, especially Empire. Empire is just, oh my God, that's just like the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. I used to think the first one was my favorite, and I was like, well, I like the big fight or the big space battle in Jedi, but then I was like, Empire is just a legitimately all-around good movie. Like,
it is.
From start to finish, it's just a good movie. Not a part that I like, the whole thing.
Yeah, it just gets better and better with every viewing too. Like my son's favorite used to be Episode 3, and even he is like starting, because smaller children that are in this generation, a lot of them like the prequels more than they do the original trilogy. But then as they get older, they find that the original trilogy is actually better.
Mm-hmm.
And he's starting to figure that out too.
George Lucas said his mission was accomplished to get the kids' attention, but he didn't keep it. That was the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to think actually Return of the Jedi was my favorite because the Sarlacc pit scene. I would just fast forward to when Luke's on the diving board and just watch that scene. But I think as I got older and I like story a lot more, Empire Strikes Back has so much drama.
Yes, it does.
Whew.
It's so great.
And who was that one directed by? I know it wasn't George Lucas. I forgot who it was.
Irvin Kershner did Empire.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. And then the rumor is George Lucas really directed Return of the Jedi.
He was getting help as well.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But his name's not really on the director's title.
Shame.
But yeah.
Well, and I guess going back over some of the good things that I had for the prequels that I like was, I did like the lightsaber battles. There's some of them that are a little too choreographed for my taste, but also some of them that are just pretty fucking sweet. That I was like the one in Phantom Menace was like kind of back and forth. It's like, that looks super choreographed. That was awesome. That's super choreographed. That's awesome. It was that, and I'm trying to think what else. I guess the other thing I really like was not the CGI, but they did use a decent amount. If you watch some of the behind the scenes on the Blu-rays or so, they had a lot of good scale models that they used. There was something like Lord of the Rings was doing at the same time, trying to use a lot of the models to scale in regards to just all CGI, which when you look at it, it looks like that's all they've used. It's nothing but CGI, but it's actually more of the scale models and practical effects than a lot of people realize.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, you're talking about the lightsaber battles. That's one thing I didn't even mention. But, the prequel trilogies actually do have some pretty damn good lightsabers, especially 3. The final fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, it's badass.
Yeah. That's where I actually think the CGI doesn't look too bad there. For some reason, I was really thrown off by the CGI of like General Grievous. It was just too much.
It came out of nowhere too. I didn't know who he was. He kind of came out of nowhere for me. I was like, so what's his role again? And why is it like? And
why is he coughing?
Yeah, exactly. Is he half human, half whatever, half monster, half robot?
Well, according to George Lucas,
what about
Grievous was supposed to be kind of kind of like Darth Vader, because if you look at him, he's a robot, but he has like alien eyes, and you could tell that there was like a being inside that robot. So that was his way of adding a Darth Vader type figure, but Grievous is nowhere near as deep or as cool as Darth Vader, so it was kind of a wasted effort.
Yeah,
I didn't like his personality. His personality
yeah.
wasn't as good as Darth Vader is pretty much Hitler, and it was like menacing.
Yeah.
General Grievous
it's like mustache twirling.
He was a coward.
Much there just to look cool. That's all the little kids loved him, but once you're an adult, you're like, what is this guy?
Yeah,
besides looking cool with 8 lightsabers on him or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I do love the pod racing scene in episode 1.
Yeah.
That is sick as hell. You all played the pod racing game on N64.
Yeah, I know. I bought one just for it.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'll never tire that.
Yeah,
especially on a good sound system. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, they do. The sound editing is amazing on the trilogy. The prequels had really great sound editing as well. The pod race. I bought the N64 like a year ago because I was like, man, I couldn't find it on any other system. I was like, I gotta get the N64, and I rocked it out. And it's still just fun now as it was, back in the day when you used to rock it out.
I remember it being like really good graphics.
It is. They hold up. They hold up pretty well for nowadays. It's kind of like an arcade, those arcade games that are really, decent graphics for the late '90s, early 2000s, but they still hold up.
Yeah. They do.
But all right, well, just kind of moving on. One last topic before we get to the Force Awakens. Talk about George Lucas real quick. About him selling the rights over to Disney. What were your thoughts when you first heard it? Were you relieved? You're like, thank God, get it out of his hands? Were you like, oh man, now Disney's gonna run with it? What's gonna happen? Or just like, are you just optimistic that we're getting more Star Wars?
I felt bad. I feel like it was the right decision to do because he obviously can't fulfill what the fans want to do. He's had 3 opportunities to, and he just fucked up each time. But I feel bad. It's like that's his baby. That's the only thing. It's like one of the few things he's actually ever done, and he's contributed so much to the world. It's like it kills me that it hurts. It hurts. I feel bad.
Yeah, no, I agree with Tim. I think. You know what? A lot of it is just a product, and everybody wants a certain product, and that, like Tim said, that's George Lucas's baby, and it was his product to do what he wanted. Now, my initial reaction when it happened was I was happy because I was like, oh, now who knows what could happen? We could have a new trilogy without him tampering with it, but he created this thing, you know what I mean? Without Lucas, and you know what? When he passes, I got a feeling it's gonna be brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I felt bad because we all talked all this crap on the prequels, but like you said, it is his treasure. We wouldn't be talking about it if he hadn't created the original trilogy. So I did feel bad that you feel like maybe he sold it off because of all the fan backlash from the prequels. He's just like, I tried. And like you said, Tim, he tried, but he couldn't do it, so handed it off to somebody else. But I mean, he's still getting paid for it, so no one can really feel sorry for him at this point. But no, I was kind of happy. I was like, okay, we're gonna get more Star Wars. But Lee, like you said, I was like, but it's gonna be without George. He'll do consulting, but we are gonna get someone else's vision ultimately in regards to the direction, the actual directing of the movie, and maybe what the filters and things are gonna look like. So I was optimistic, but still, from the analogies that we've seen online about George Lucas being like his own character, Darth Vader, or Luke Skywalker, the innocent kid, becoming the corporate monster, and turning on him in the end, basically. And so I feel like that's what happened to him. I feel bad. He's in his late years, so he's you would think that he wants to go out on a high note, but he's probably going to go out with a little bit of a tarnished legacy.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. It all depends. I mean, I think when you can look at it in anything, in music and authors, it doesn't matter as long as some artist has something incredible. George Lucas with 4, 5, and 6, he's golden forever. No one
Yeah.
can ever say that guy sucks. Bands, as long as they have that one really good album, it doesn't matter what's after that. It's like he's contributed something, and it's like I think some people get lost in the fact that like it's like even Spielberg's not that as great as he used to be. So I feel like people gotta go back, chill.
Plus, yeah, when you look 50 years down the line, because everybody knows Star Wars is still going to be around, it's still going to be popular.
Mhm.
I think that tarnished image of him will be almost gone. I mean, because people won't ever remember it. They'll still have Star Wars and they'll still celebrate Star Wars, and it won't even matter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it would be maybe not a complete tarnishing of his reputation, but just like a little blip in his career. It's like he created Star Wars and he made the prequels, but then these happened after the fact. All these great movies, thanks to him, came in afterwards. So yeah, no, I agree. I think it's possible for him to definitely have some redemption. Just for real quick for the chat board, I think CP is on the chat board, and yes, it is working. So if you have questions or anything. So go ahead and chime in with our friend. So yeah, that's the last thing we want to go over with George Lucas, just kind of get a little insight what you guys thought. So now we're getting into what we all want to talk about is the upcoming release of the Star Wars Force Awakens. 5 weeks from now, man, it's coming real fast.
Yeah.
Did you guys get your tickets when the Monday Night Football came out?
I didn't.
No.
I fucked up.
Yeah. Well,
I just bought my tickets last week.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
you still got them?
Say again?
And you still got them?
Yeah. Well, I live in a really small town in Georgia, and my theater's not IMAX or anything. It's just a regular, They have 2D and 3D, but yeah, there were still plenty of seats available. So I went ahead and got them I'm going to see it on Thursday night at 8 p.m. on the 17th.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah, I was I was watching the game, and then I had my computer ready. I had my phone just in case, and I could not get on any sites for like 2 or 3 hours. Like I was punching, trying to get in different websites, different avenues, nothing. So I did get my tickets, but it was some effort. So I got 2 tickets, but I didn't get reserved seating ones. So either I'm going to have to go really early or. Luckily, I'm in Denver, so there are a lot of theaters. So I know there are a couple theaters around here who have some reserved seating that might have a seat or 2 left that aren't right in front of the screen. So, but yeah, I thought that was crazy. I think the marketing for this movie has been on point. I think that they have done everything correctly in regards to releasing the toys. So far, apparently, they've only released the first third or first half of the movie in regards to the toys, so they're not giving anything away. Obviously the marketing with the toys and then the trailers coming out. I think I've cried on every single one of them so far. So
yeah, that Japanese trailer. Wow,
that
was the best. That was so good.
I think the second trailer was the one that really got me. And then the one this last one before the international, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I was like, they're gonna make me cry every month until this movie comes out. But so. Some things that we saw from the trailers and that we've gathered at this point now, and the poster as well. The first thing I want to talk about is the new Death Star. You guys see that?
Yeah, it's got a window.
Yeah. Yeah. and from the trailers, people speculated that trench and the wintry kind of planet is supposed to be that trench that's opening up to the Death Star that's going to open up, where they're going to shoot out of. But I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But if it is, what do you think of another Death Star? We've had already 2 of them. Do we need a third?
Well, I mean, they were creating another Death Star between Empire and Return of the Jedi, so why not? I mean, it's been, 30 years?
30 years,
so,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was another Death Star.
I did hear from someone else's review that, and it was a really good point. I think it was like that Australian guy, Mr. Sunday Movies. He was like,
"Oh, nice, love him."
Yeah, dude. He was dropping mad science on us, and he was just like, J.J. Abrams has been taking everything from all the Star Wars movies that he likes, and he's making one conglomerate movie for everyone to enjoy. And I think if getting another Death Star is what we want, then I'm all for it. I mean, it can never hurt. And plus, he did say he's going to be finishing what Darth Vader started, so it could happen. Yeah,
it's true. I don't know if you guys can see the chat board, but I'll see CB saying they keep adding showtimes, Tim, so you can go like at 3 a.m. on Friday if they sell out. So if you want to stay up late, get your coffee, get your Starbucks.
3 a.m. on Friday.
Yeah, I gotta walk to the theater.
Yeah, I don't know about that, especially with the wintertime coming. I guess kind of other things too we're seeing from the trailers that people are speculating on that Kylo Ren and Rey are siblings possibly. That she's I don't know if you guys heard of that.
No, that's a good rumor though. I can see that.
That Kylo Ren's possibly the son of Han and Leia. And
whoa, wait, hold on. I hate to. Someone told me, and I was getting into like a verbal argument. I was like, "You're so fucking wrong." Someone said that Kylo Ren is Luke, and I'm like, no.
That's the one I heard.
Yeah, people have been squashing that like crazy.
It can't be. It can't.
Here's what I think, and I haven't heard anybody say this yet, and I'm just spitballing here, but wouldn't it be cool if Kylo Ren, because they haven't showed Luke Skywalker at all in the trailers, so either he has a really insignificant part, which I don't think, or there's something fucking awesome awaiting us with Luke Skywalker. And I'm thinking Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren are going to go head-to-head with a lightsaber.
I just got chills. I just got chills.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Oh my
gorgeous.
God, that'd be awesome. Chills right now just thinking about it.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, someone was like, when they were like, "No, man, Kylo Ren's Luke," I was like, first of all, we may have seen Luke touch R2-D2's dome. Like that was probably him.
And was that on the island that he's supposedly hiding out on, or where was that? Was that like?
Yeah, he's with R2-D2 behind those rocks.
Yeah, exactly. There's digitally enhanced rocks right there. So I've heard the same thing too. Is Luke going to be dark in this movie? Is he going to have a small role? Maybe he might show up the last 10 minutes of the movie just to kind of give us that cliffhanger. I'm like, what the fuck is Luke doing here? What's he going to do? And so the next episode give us that desolation of small cliffhanger like Peter Jackson did.
I think we're going to get something awesome with Luke. I really do.
I know it is. It's going to be the return of Cockknocker.
It's definitely a possibility. It's definitely.
I'm growing my Luke beard as we speak.
If I could, I would, but I got a Luke stash. I'll get the Luke boy stash going.
You got the Luke goatee.
There you go. And then trying to think what else. So kind of keeping with Luke, like we said, hasn't been revealed. Do you think we're going to see him any trailer? Like, is there another TV spot or trailer you think they're going to show him, or they're going to keep him off until we see the movie?
Did you guys see the poster, though? The sketch of the poster that was supposed to happen where Luke was in the background?
Oh, I didn't see a sketch. I didn't see the sketch of it.
That might have been fan art, by the way, but someone did say that originally Luke was going to be on the poster, but I don't know. I mean, there's one image of him floating around that could also be photoshopped. It's him in like a hood.
I think I've seen that image, yeah.
It could be fake.
But it could be fake.
People are so damn good with Photoshop these days, I've seen a couple of the Jar Jar one I saw. I was like, this looks like Lucasfilm or whoever they hired did it, and they sent it out. So
did you see the poster with every face was Jar Jar?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, people are really good.
I was like,
step up my game.
And I woke up from my
you need to get that up.
I want that poster.
Yeah, so you need to get
that. If I had that poster, I would put it back here.
All right, so kind of moving on to some other things. The last few things I want to talk about. The Wilhelm scream. That
of course.
When are we going to hear this in this movie? I guess I've heard a few people guess that. I think that part where the stormtroopers flipping upside down when the TIE fighter's shooting people inside. I think that's when we're going to hear it. But I don't know. What about you guys? You think we've seen the part where we're going to hear the Wilhelm scream?
That would bring me so much joy if that's the scene.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Will the stormtroopers actually hit a mark this time, though?
Yeah, that's the big question. Are they going to actually kill
Or will
somebody?
they purposely not hit a mark?
Instructed not to, possibly. Yeah. We'll see.
Oh, no, hold on. Will a stormtrooper bump his head?
There you go. And we'll make the final cut. Make the final cut.
Maybe that's how Finn lost his helmet.
There you go.
Bumped right into it, came off.
He's like, I'm done with this. I'm out of here.
Where's my helmet?
Will Boba Fett make an appearance?
Well, there is a rumor. When I used to listen to Jedi Council, they said that Boba Fett survives the Sarlacc pit and he escapes. So, do you guys know anything more about that? Is there a potential for him to be alive?
Well, wasn't there like in one of the wasn't there a Boba Fett book? Because I haven't read the novels or anything, but wasn't there a novel where he actually did, like, you saw his hand come out of the Sarlacc pit?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read the book. I know what you're talking about, but I saw a fan trailer, and I also saw the Battlefront trailer where they showed he flew over the Sarlacc pit, and also the fan maze where he see the hand come out and he crawls out, and you're like, oh, they're trying to make, it's kind of like a fan made trailer for the Boba Fett movie showing that he made it out. So I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going to play it out like that's how he survived, or I mean, they could bring Darth Maul back, from the canon in the Clone Wars or in I think it's Rebels or something, where he's got spider legs now. So they could bring him back if they wanted. So anything's possible. So no, I just kind of want to see what you guys thought about that. So last thing I want to go over is who is going to die in this movie. We had that one scene with Rey crying over something. Is it Han, Chewie? Could it be Leia, Poe, even Finn? Maybe. I've heard someone say Finn just because I don't know. They think that this is going to be Rey's story, not Finn's story throughout the trilogy.
I don't think anybody's going to die. I think because Star Wars movies usually start off with a light movie, and then the middle movie was everybody dies, and then the third movie is like redemption of something of some sort. So I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to die, but I could be wrong.
Be a tease death, like a Marvel, like, oh, they're dead, and then 2 minutes later, it's like they walk around the corner, it's like, whoa, you're alive.
Yeah. Actually, I think Rey was crying because Jar Jar Binks died.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, if you want to cry for your scene, there you go. Except for you, I know you'd be upset if you saw that.
Yeah.
I think, I honestly, if that is someone dead, I think it has to do with the attack of the flamethrowers and all that stuff. Yeah. I think it could just be where she's dwelling. That is, they killed. It's Luke's story when he comes back and finds his parents are dead. I think it's similar to that, where
that's
it's just a person. Like it's
gonna be an insignificant person, pretty much.
Yes, and yeah,
so that'd be so funny. A person or the situation she's crying at. You saying?
Yeah. It could be like just Mrs. blah 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 next door who.
Yeah, no, I get you. They'll probably like you said, they want to build it as this is a big death, but really it's probably someone like you said, her next door neighbor who took care of her growing up or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, no, you guys are probably right that possibly could be what's going on, because I don't know. Lee, you're right. They don't have too many deaths in Star Wars, like significant deaths, I guess. And Empire was the ones, the middle ones, the more darker movies in the middle, or where something like that would happen. So yeah, I think it would be a tease, or I agree, Tim. Probably some non-important character, but someone that they were tied to very going into the movie.
What is the setting though, where she's crying? Is it in like the jungle?
I think it's in the same forest, the wintry forest, where Finn and Kylo Ren were gonna have that duel. Yeah. So that's why I was like, is it Ren? Maybe someone's injured? She thinks he's gonna die, but he doesn't die. I don't know, something that trying to piece together all these scenes that you've seen throughout these the trailers. They really done a great job not giving away any story.
That's how you make a trailer, not like the Terminator franchise.
Oh my God! It's like you watch a 30-second GIF on the entire movie. You're just like, oh, yeah, here, I know what happened.
Here, have the movie in a 3-minute form.
Yeah, they might as well have just done that. So I'm glad that the trailers have done well with that without giving away too much.
Predictions as far as how much this movie will make opening weekend.
Well, traditionally, I guess they've said that December is in the highest is like 80, 90 million for December. But this is Star Wars. I'm gonna go anywhere between 150 to 200 million. I'm guessing on the opening weekend.
Yeah.
How much?
I'm saying 220. That's what I'm saying.
How much did Jurassic World make?
Ooh, that's good.
207, I think.
Oh,
210, something like that.
It will surpass that.
It's got the record.
It will surpass that. Like, people were looking forward to Jurassic World, but people are looking forward to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what though? This is what happened with Phantom Menace. Like, everybody thought it was going to set this opening weekend record, and it didn't.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember what movie still had the opening weekend record, but Phantom Menace didn't, even though everybody was going gaga over it. So, who knows?
Could have been that first viewing word of mouth. As soon as the first people came out, they're like, "Oh my god, what are we
Run
just
for your
watch?" Yeah.
I see the headlines.
Yeah.
Star Wars gets pulled after, like, 2,000 theaters. Star Wars gets pulled, just like Gem and the Holograms.
Yeah, and Steve Jobs. I thought that was crazy that Universal's had such a great run, and then they were just like, we got to yank movies after 2 weeks that they thought were going to be, front runners, at least for the box office that weekend. So, man, yeah, 200 million I think is a good 200 plus 200, which is nuts if you think about it. Like, movies are happy with like 15, $20 million openings, but they're not Star Wars, obviously. But I mean, Disney is just the $4 billion they spent to get this from Lucas. That was Trump change. They're gonna get that back in like 2 years.
Oh yeah, on video sales alone, they'll probably get all of it back just off the first movie.
Yeah, these are the movies that are gonna have DVD and Blu-ray sales. Other than like some of the other movies, these are gonna have the big turnarounds on those DVD sales. So they're gonna and merchandise obviously. So they're just gonna win all over.
I wonder what the slipcover is gonna look like.
That's a good question.
What's a slipcover? You mean steelbook, right?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, that is a movie that deserves just a steelbook. That's it.
Oh yeah, definitely. This was National Steelbook Week, by the way.
Is it?
Well, I mean, they had the Star Wars steelbooks, and then you had the Terminator Genesis steelbooks. So, like, everybody spent all their money on steelbooks this week.
I still cannot locate a Mad Max DVD, like Blu-ray.
What?
Dude, I go to like the local Target, Walmart's. They like have them there, but they have the display, but it's not. It's empty. Like,
are you talking about the Blu-ray or the steelbook?
Both. I can't. They had just a regular DVD. I was like, I don't want that.
The steelbook was a Best Buy exclusive, and yeah, I did the site to store. I always do site to store if I can, just to save myself.
I'm gonna have to start doing that.
Definitely do site to store.
But all right, well, that's kind of what I want to talk about in regards to the Force Awakens trailers and all the speculation coming up that the movie's coming out in just a few weeks. But now I just want to take the last few minutes that we have, see if there's any questions or topics anyone wants to go over. It looks like we have CP who's on here. See if CP has a question or anybody wants to submit real quick.
We can't talk to him.
I mean, honestly, we have to because he's the only guy talking, right? CP, you're the man to go to.
Hell yeah, man.
If you got a question or topic you want to bring up, let us know.
Where's Blu-ray Evan?
We have a few people watching. I don't see if they want to react. I tried to get the live chat going on through the YouTube, and for some reason it says it's disabled, even though I tried to enable it 10 times. So
where's official ZZ?
Yeah, we had a few people who were going to be checking out. Well, let's see. I don't think he's I don't know if he's going to chime in or not, but in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get you guys plugged on your channels. Let everybody know where to find you and what your channel's all about. So, Lee, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me on your channel, Carlos. I really enjoyed this. I think this is my first podcast too, actually.
Nice.
So, yeah, I had a good time. I mean, Star Wars is easy talk. I can talk Star Wars all day.
All day.
All day. Yeah. So yeah, you can find me at Drumdums though. Thank you.
Cool. And Tim, what about yourself?
Yeah. As Lee said, thank you so much, Carlos. This is so much fun. Star Wars is so sick. You can find me at youtube.com/LateReviews1. Who knows what my next video is going to be? I don't know.
So sometimes I don't even know until like the hour I'm going to be doing it. I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah, I am going to be reviewing some Christmas movies coming up soon. So
nice.
It's going to get ugly.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to do Black Christmas pretty soon.
With the original or the remake?
The original, not the remake.
I bought the remake and I have not watched it yet. Just because it's got Michelle Trachtenberg in it. Gotta watch it.
It's got oh God, what's her name? Winstead. Yeah, it's got Mary Elizabeth Winstead in it. It's got actually a lot of big stars in it, but the movie sucks. It's just horrible.
I'm still looking forward to it. Someone did say it was very Christmassy, so there's that.
Oh, it's very. You know what? The cinematography in it is just beautiful. So definitely check that out. But it takes a left turn about midway through, and it gets annoying, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's because they tried to add a new aspect that wasn't in the original, whereas the original was more ambiguous. And the original, have you seen the original?
No, I want to.
The original is one of my favorite slasher movies ever. It actually predates Halloween.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, but man, it's some say that Black Christmas was one of the influences of John Carpenter's Halloween. This is another podcast, but I could talk about this for days. Yeah.
Well, no, that's cool.
Check out Black Christmas.
Yeah, I want to check that out. I actually want to check out Krampus and the night before with Seth Rogen. That actually looks kind of funny too.
Oh, I'm definitely seeing Krampus. Yeah.
I'm game. Krampus is a PG-13 though.
Is it?
PG-13? Yeah. Someone told me that. I was like, what?
A lot of jump scares.
It's going to be a lot of initial.
You know who directs Krampus, don't you?
The Trick or Treat guy, right?
Right. Yeah, Michael Dougherty. So yeah, I got high hopes.
Okay. PG-13.
Well,
we'll see what happens.
Let's trust it.
Maybe we'll have ourselves a Christmas Star Wars podcast. A Christmas podcast. Maybe we'll do a Star Wars holiday special separate one as well. You guys can check that out.
I'm down.
Good idea.
But yeah, well, thank you guys for coming on. I really do appreciate you coming on, taking the time to do this Star Wars podcast. This is my first time doing this as well, so I'm excited to do more of these. So we'll be doing at least another Star Wars podcast. We'll get you guys on, maybe get somebody else on as well, and then we'll do some other podcasts. Everybody can find me at Circus of Time Review on my YouTube channel. You can follow me at Circus of Time on Twitter, and and basically be doing some more podcasts going from here, so we'll be keeping everybody informed and going from there. So again, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Tim and Lee for being on the show, and we're just going to end it here. Thanks everybody.
Sweet. Thank you.